T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
Coach on Fire Radio.
Well, hello, welcome to Create a Life You Love with Sarah Shakespeare. Very happy to have you listening today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen in. If you don't follow me on Instagram and Facebook already, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and the history behind my experience through coaching and personal training and the fitness industry, and why I've got a show called Create a Life You Love. When given the opportunity to have a show here on Coach on Fire Radio, I was asked what name I would like to call the show, and I said without a hesitation that I would like to call it Create a Life You Love, because I believe that I've personally helped people create lives that they love. Every day I make decisions that help me create a life that I love. So that phrase came to mind immediately. So all the guests that I have on my show each week always have the concept in whatever profession they're in helping people create a life that they love. So very, very happy to have this opportunity to do this show. It's been great. I've had it since last year, and I've had the most amazing guests each week come on to the show. And everybody has had something amazing to say that even I've wanted to make notes about. I always pick guests that I believe to be very, very interesting, very engaging, lots of interesting things to take with you. And I hope things that I would say hopefully life-changing and things that you hear and you take away with, and you want to maybe further get in touch with that guest afterwards to maybe even work with them or find out more information, go to their events, read their books, anything that they have that would help you create a life that you love. So I've been in the health and fitness industry for 25 years. And when I say that, I feel terribly old when I say it, but I don't always feel it. Since 1993. And when I started personal training back then, it wasn't a job that people were familiar with. They were very familiar with coaches of sports teams and, phys ed teachers at school, but a personal trainer, I had to explain my job a lot back then. People would ask me if I got, did you really get paid to train with people and do their exercise with them and talk to them about their life and their plans and their nutrition and everything? And yes, I did. So I've been very, very lucky to actually have a job that hasn't felt like a job. I really, really love people. And from a young age, I definitely have been a people person. So for me to have, a career where I've been able to talk about health and fitness and goal setting and, gratitude and everything that I believe in, to be able to do that and have that come across and help other people in their lives has actually not felt like a job at all. It's actually felt that I've spent many, many hours just being with friends. And when you can see that you're changing lives and you see that people have got amazing results from listening to your advice, then it doesn't always run so smoothly. Like the people that I've worked with, you don't necessarily get to your goal in 4 weeks or 8 weeks. Sometimes there's a process of falling off the wagon and getting back on. But I think what I do as part of the coaching side of things, there's accountability with people. And when they work with you, they really want to get back on that wagon again because you're really helping them move forward. So it's been a really, really great thing for me to do. And I started doing it, like I say, in 1993 and progressed into doing more and more things as the years went on related to exercise. I have done quite a few marathons and ultra marathons. So I've trained people within those environments as well. And I've also done fitness competitions, and I'm a figure pro. And a figure pro, if you look at in the bodybuilding industry, you can see bikini models, fitness models, figure, bodybuilding. So I am a figure pro, and I've had my pro card for 11 years now. And it's been something that I've loved throughout my whole life, to be at the gym, weight training. If you see me on Facebook and you see I'm in my happy place on my Instagram stories or on my Facebook posts, without question, you will know that picture below will be of me in a gym working out. So I do love the gym environment. It's been really great for me to be in there. So for me to do fitness competitions and run marathons and do all of that, it meant that I would be in my happy place. And also it's very, very encouraging when you have a coach or a trainer who is practicing what they preach. So I'm very, very, it's really important to me that I practice what I preach when I'm trying to teach other people on what I would like to do with them. So going back into, the days of when I first started personal training, there wasn't many women doing that. There really wasn't. And it was really interesting trying to get that support and get that interest. And you had to kind of try and prove yourself back then. So I did prove myself. I had a lot of older clients that really took a faith in me and listened to what I had to say, because I was really, really interested in what I was saying. So throughout the years, I've worked with different age groups and different types of people to get them in different, get them to excel in different areas of their life. Now, I am married and have 3 daughters, and it's been a wonderful time, me moving to Canada. You can hear that I have an English accent, but I'm not in England. I moved to Canada in the year 2000, and I have to say I am creating a life that I love here. All of my decisions that I've made here are with the big picture in mind. And when I first moved here, I lived in Alberta, and I now live in what I call beautiful British Columbia. So I actually live in my dream destination every day. So very, very happy and feel lots of gratitude for what I get to do each day. I am very involved in my local community and volunteering, which I love. I really wanted to teach my own children that there's more to life than getting paid for something. You really need to give your time and get a satisfaction and get something amazing back on that. So I'm very, very active within my school district. I'm very, very excited about education and the next generation and the involvement and the influence we have on the younger people in our lives and how we can change what the outcome's going to be in the next generation. So very interested in all aspects of education moving forward and the children that are affected by that. So that's been a big thing for me for at least 10 years. So that takes up some of my time as well as everything else. Now, living in beautiful British Columbia, I live in the most beautiful location. And what I'm going to be starting this year are retreats, motivational retreats, where they will be for 1 day or 3 days. And we will be going through goal setting, fitness, makeovers, photography. So we'll be getting some pictures done. We'll be doing lots of things that I hope when you walk away, you've got a bigger sense of confidence. You're feeling happy. You're going with a game plan. There might be new exercises and new nutritional things that you pick up. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to have some leisure time, but we're also going to have some planning time and I guess some down to business time. And with that concept of, create a life you love, I do talk about the 52-week plan and what we're going to do over the next 52 weeks and how that makes a big impact to what's coming up for us time and time again. So I will look at the planning. I also talk about the 100-year plan. And again, if you follow me on social media, anything that I do that might be risky to my health, I say, nope, I'm not doing that. It's not part of the 100-year plan. So when I'm doing the workshops and when I'm talking on stage, I talk about the 100-year plan and how important it is that we think long-term in our life and we have an intention to be here a long time. So when I'm asked about aging, I love that I'm getting older. I do everything within my power to look younger and feel younger. But as far as aging, I'm very happy to be 45 this year because a lot of people don't make it to 45 or 44. So I'm really, really happy to be at that place in my life where I'm clipping along nicely. I feel as though I've got 55 years left as far as my 100-year plan goes. And that comes from having a positive mindset. And I know that if you have a positive mindset and you're feeling confident, then great things can happen for you and you're a great person to be around, and you can give that energy out to people and help them if they're not feeling confident within their life. They're not feeling as though they've got, a long life ahead of them. So the guest that I have today is so interesting. I met Joanne last year and I was actually listening to her speak. And so I've listened to a few things that she's going to talk about today. And I found her very, very interesting. And one of the things that, Joanne talks about is having no regrets in your life and getting to a certain time in your life where you want to do new things. You want to still go forward with opportunities. And, the people that you surround yourself is so important. And she said that. And I really, really agree with that. So going back to the beginning of the show, I did say that I have guests on that interest me as well as who I think will interest other people. And, Joanne has a lot of interesting things to say. So I'm really looking forward to our interview today. Now, Joanne's favourite quote is, "All you want is on the other side of fear." And that's what we're going to talk about today. There's lots of interesting things that we're going to go over today. I'm going to read a little bit about Joanne to you so that you can get a bit familiar, but she's going to tell us a lot about herself when she's here. It was a 1-2 punch that almost took Joanne out. First came Bronnie Ware's book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying, and the realization that those would be her regrets if she didn't do something now. There she was with her birthday cake with its 2 candles on it, a 6 and a 4, in that order. There was so much that Joanne wanted to do. She knew that she'd been hiding out of her comfort zone for far too long. In her comfort zone, not out, in her comfort zone for far too long. So she left her job and embarked on a year of wandering in the desert, as she calls it. And we'll talk to her a bit more about what that phrase, wandering in the desert, means, because I know a lot of people are really, really going to associate with that. So she tried new things like speaking on stage, co-authoring a best-selling book, and jumping out of a plane. And I actually do follow Joanne on social media, and I remember that time in her life. So I've seen every single picture that describes that. That looks like amazing experience there. This was totally new territory to Joanne. Fear and self-doubt were her constant companions, but through it all, she learned how to keep fear from holding her dreams hostage. So I'd like to introduce Joanne to you today. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Very well. Very excited to have you on the show today. I think you're going to have a lot of interesting things to say to people, and it's all going to come together, I hope, in their own mind, in what they can achieve if they put their mind to trying new things and coming away from that fear. So I've already met you and loved you the very first time I met you. So if anybody was going to meet you today, what would you tell them about Joanne? What would they need to know about you?
Oh, well, that's interesting, Sarah. Well, first of all, let me just say I'm really appreciative of this opportunity to be here and speak with you, and we're going to have lots of fun today.
Good, I'm happy.
So the thing that I can say today is that I love my life today. I couldn't always say that because my life used to be filled with anxiety and indecision. I mean, like every day, always worrying that people would find out that I didn't really have my act together, and it was exhausting trying to hide from the world. But as you can see, I'm not hiding from the world any longer.
I like that. It's good. Very good.
So today, I am the founder of Midlife Rewritten, and I coach women as they develop their own self-confidence. So my mission is to show women that it's possible to change their lives by taming their fears and overcoming their self-doubts, because that's the way I did it.
And it's so good that you've gone through that experience yourself, because people take a real great faith in that. They do want to hear your stories and ask what you've been doing. And if you've gone through that, it's such great advice they can take, because any questions they ask you, you've kind of got the answer for because you've already been there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's good. So tell us a bit of your background. So, you know, when you think back over the years, and you said you were kind of hiding behind things, go back, like we talked previously, go back there to those 25 years ago and what type of thing you were doing way back within the corporate world, and how that everyday life looked when you were, you know, raising a family and everything around there. So people have got a bit of a history about why at this point now, you know, you're still saying, okay, this is exactly what you should do at this point.
Right. Well, you know, like a lot of women my age, they, I've kind of followed the program, right? You go to school, you get out of college. I was lucky enough to go to college. Not everyone was, but I needed to support myself. My family, you know, didn't have a lot of resources, and I was the first one to go to college. And I needed to get out and get a good job and make money. So, you know, that's what I did. So I got out, I got a degree in accounting and became an accountant, a CPA. And, you know, it was a great career. And I worked hard at it, did well, moved from public accounting into what we call private accounting or industry. And did a lot of work with nonprofit organizations because that was really kind of where my heart was, being able to work with organizations that were providing services to, you know, people who really needed help. And so, you know, you kind of follow the plan, right? You dutifully do what society kind of tells you to do. You get a job, you get married, you have children, you spend, you know, you divide your focus between work and kids. And for a while, I wasn't working. I was able to stay home with my kids when they were young, and that was really great. But what you find is that it's easy to hide behind all of those things. And